Give me a little
Hi.
big sigh. Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, Kristin Foster, thank you so much for being here. I
Thanks.
know you're like, this is not my happy place, Mark.
No.
But listen, I really appreciate it. So, one of the cool things, and we were talking a little bit offline, is that you're not, it's cool for me because you're not super prolific in the world as far as being out there. And in fact, trying to find information about you is kind of hard to find. You're kind of stealth, and that's the word you use. You like to be stealth,
Yeah.
even like with the army green shirt, like
I'm
stealth.
always camo.
But you can't, so are we.
Hiding.
But you can't be stealth when you're a world champion a couple times over and then some in the outrigger world. So, I think you can be stealth for a while, but once you start taking names like that and taking down some of the biggest races in the world,
Yeah.
there's going to be whether it's a target or not,
Yeah.
but your name is now out there. So I kind of gave it away.
Yeah.
2-time Molokai world champion in solo outrigger,
Yeah.
but also there's the relays, and then there's the 6-man and 9-man. We're going to
Right.
talk a lot about your paddling exploits, but this is more than that, because going back to the kind of like the private nature of you, I think as a fan of outrigger paddling and paddling in general, I think that when people accomplish what you have accomplished in paddling over all these years, and most of us don't know much about you, again, maybe by design, but I know you like it that way, but it'll be super interesting to find out. Like, I love to understand how high performers like yourself got there, and like the path and the why and how. And so we'll talk about all that stuff,
Yeah.
and especially because where are we right now?
We are in Huike Studio in Lihui on Kauai,
The Garden Isle.
the Garden Island.
Well, let's start there.
Yeah.
So I think, let me ask you this. Where did you grow up?
I grew up here. I was born on Kauai.
Where?
And
Where did
in Lihui.
How far from where we're sitting did you grow up? Would you guess?
Like 5 minutes away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You haven't gone very far.
no, I haven't gone very
awesome.
far. Yeah, so grew up in Lihui, went to elementary school, high school. I eventually moved out to Honolulu. I got my first job in Honolulu at 16 at the Honolulu Surf Company, and I just love it out there. So now I live in Wainiha now with my husband and kids, and so
Gotcha.
I've kind
All
of
right. So
moved a little bit away
Yeah.
from that.
But you haven't gone, that's
I mean,
on a small island.
far on the island,
Yeah,
yes,
right.
but not far in the world. And I feel like I've never really found a place I'd rather live than here. It's like all I know. It's like what I grew up. I visited places, but always wanted to come back. And even like after high school, the thought of moving away wasn't like I was like, everyone's like, you have to move away to,
Learn about
find
the
yourself,
world.
learn about the world, and do all the things. But like up into the end, like high school, I'm just like, I just like don't want to leave, and I didn't. So I stayed here, went to school, worked, and never
And here you are.
left.
Yeah. Well, listen, most of us aspire. Like, for most of us, this is a place to vacation and
Right.
to come. And most people if they've been to Kauai, they have a mental picture of Honolulu.
Yeah.
Where I saw you, I was paddling. That's your home base, which is one of the most
Yeah.
beautiful places on earth.
Yeah.
And as a paddler, it's got to be one of the best. Well, we'll talk about all that, but I want to kind of go back to the beginning if I can.
Yeah.
I'm just always interested in people that grow up in the islands. So what brought your family here? Like, what's the heritage? What's the history?
Well, so I went back. My great grandparents came here on my mom's side from Japan, and I'm born and raised ever since, like through even my child. So we're like 6 generations
Wow.
deep on that side.
Do you know what brought them over?
I believe it was just work. They came over on a ship. I was looking at pictures at my grandpa's house not too long ago, and they all just came over for like maybe more opportunity, right? And just something different. And so they came to work and then raised my great grandparents here, and then so on.
Wow.
So we've been here, and it's kind of all that side of the family knows, connected with Japan to a sense, like have never been there yet, and I want to visit there with my family. But yeah, it's like we've been here for so long that I feel like Kauai's our home. And as far as my dad's side goes, he moved here when he was, I feel like around 6 or so. His parents or his dad was in the Air Force, so they moved here. He grew up in Kamakani, like on the west side, went to elementary school there, high school at Waimea, and then has lived here, ever since, is still here. So there's like a deep connection.
Deep. So
Here.
like 6 generations, your kids are like 6 generations.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, which I mean, like I didn't realize it till, my grandpa just passed away in March, but he was 102. So he had
Wow.
an amazing life here. He was strong to the end, and actually one of my biggest fans, I feel like, for paddling. He was always like rooting me on. But yeah, it's
How neat.
yeah.
There's some of the like well-known families, like the sugarcane families that go
Right.
back to the missionaries.
Yeah.
Those are like 7 generations, so you're not far off from that.
I know. I was like, well, we're
That's
not
a-
that far off. We
there-
just
there can't-
came
I
here
mean-
pretty quick.
Yeah. And so your dad, he wasn't born here, so he
No.
came. Is he from
I feel
the
like-
mainland?
Yes, he was born in Maryland, and I think his dad was in
The military.
yeah, the military. So they moved around a bunch, but born there, came here pretty straight away, and then grew up here his whole life. So
Has the island changed much in your time, since you've been like growing up here?
I mean, just as far as people, it's evolved. I mean, but in a sense, I feel like no. I feel like if you move away and you come back, we're just like
It hasn't
10 years
changed.
older, or like a new store turned into a different store. So I feel like it's essentially kind of stayed the same in a sense, or like there's new things that pop up, but I feel like it's, other than more people or,
More tourism.
more
or whatever.
tourism, I feel like it's kind of like stayed to its roots
Right.
from what I remember.
Well, I would imagine compared to most of the islands, or
Yeah.
if you compare it to Maui or Oahu,
Yeah.
the development is marginal at best here, especially going from Lihue up the North Shore. Like,
Right.
there's not that much development. There's very,
No.
except for like Princeville or whatever. Again, I
Right.
don't want to dork out for everybody on Kauai, but if you spend time on this island, it really hasn't changed that much as far
Yeah.
as development, except for some small pockets,
I don't think so.
which is what makes it so special, right?
Yeah, and I feel like it's like we're an island chain, but I feel like we're just a little bit more off to the side, and I kind of like that.
And that's kind of been always the history of Kauai, right? Like it was
Yeah.
so far removed, it was kind of like the isolated
yeah,
island, right?
Yeah, we're so close, but a little bit further away.
And a little stealthy,
A
right?
little stealthy. So I like it.
Your middle name,
Yeah.
Stealth. Well, that's neat. And so you grew up here, school here. What were you guys like as a kid? What were you into? Were you into sports? Were you into just normal?
You know what? Yeah, my mom was an RN, my dad's a paramedic.
So you're like in that first responder medical side.
Always seen them do, that. My dad fished and everything. So we grew up just playing. We weren't really in any kind of organized sports. I mean, I grew up riding BMX bikes, like racing
Little
that
tomboy?
as a kid. Maybe just a little.
Okay, well.
My brother might have played soccer, but we weren't like, hard into sports. We camped, we fished, we hung out at the beach. I didn't even start surfing till like high school because we kind of just did all kinds of other stuff, but nothing organized until maybe high school, which I started swimming. But any kind of team sports, I never played it. Maybe I don't think I was coordinated enough to do
Listen,
that.
there's no way you can get to the place you are today without being coordinated. Maybe you just
it
didn't
took
find
me a
the
while.
right
I was
sport.
like late bloomer.
Maybe you just had to find the right sport that worked for you, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so many people I talked to, like they were, especially in water sports, people are like, oh, I grew up in stick and ball sports, but then I found surf, or then I found paddling,
Yeah.
and like usually it's surf is kind of like where people go.
Yeah.
Like
the
that's where
start,
everything
right?
else went out the window. That certainly happened to me. It was all stick and ball, and then I found skateboarding and surfing, and then poof.
Yeah.
Everything
it
else
way,
was out.
Way too much more fun. Than
Way more
anything
fun.
else.
And then
Yeah.
that opens the door to all these other sports, especially when you live on an island.
Right.
And we'll get into it, but like this island produces incredible athletes, paddling, surf, the number of pro surfers that have come out
Yeah.
of Kauai.
Yeah,
And out of
pure
like just the
talent.
North Shore, it's really
Right.
incredible. So
Yeah.
there's something in the water.
Yeah,
for
even
sure.
still, I feel like even the up and coming kids, I mean, just like the pure talent is just quite amazing, and it's so competitive now. Everyone's so good at everything that to really shine in that sport, it's pretty incredible. So
And it raises the bar for
Yeah,
everybody, right?
yeah.
When you have that many talented people around, like
Yeah.
again, like the people that you paddle with,
Right.
raises the bar all
yeah,
the time.
it does.
So high school here, where was high school? Was it right in Lihue, right here?
Yep, Kauai High.
Kauai
It's
High.
right by No Willy Willy.
Got it.
And grew up going there. Swam, like I said.
So
only
where
sport
did
I
you go with swimming? Did it go anywhere, or was it
high
just
school.
in high school?
Yeah, and I think my last year I kind of like didn't really love it so much, so I did try paddling. I went down to the canoe club at Kauai and paddled like my senior year in their little kids program, or high school program and raced a few races and then put it away.
So it
And
didn't stick.
It didn't stick. I mean, I didn't do it. I came back to it in '05. So I was probably like mid 20s when I revisited the paddling scene. And it was more, I was working at Hanalei Surf and someone's like, oh, no Molokai, this new canoe club just started. We should go check it out. And I was like, oh yeah, I think I paddled once. I'll go check it out. So I went to practice and it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of people that were just starting with me. So it was like kind of easy, like a good group of like novice paddlers. And so from there we just started and, you know, kind of stuck together, and I stuck with paddling from then on. So I didn't grow up doing it.
But you moved up to the North Shore
Yeah.
specifically for just to get a little further away?
I loved it. I think what happened is I started surfing in high school and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I got a job at Hanalei Surf. I love the North Shore, just the beach access, like the whole lifestyle was so easy that I fell in love with it. And so I moved out there and stayed out there and have been there ever since.
How old were you when you moved out there?
Well, my stepdad lived in Kauai, so I would go and work the weekends and then come back and like, you know, live in Lihue with my mom until I finished high school. And then after that, I moved out and I stayed with he's my husband now, but my boyfriend at the time,
Jody.
Jody, he lived in Hawaiian, so I lived out there. And from there, I just worked. I did one summer of lifeguarding. I did like a lifeguard thing because I was like, oh, that's cool. I can do that. So we tried it. It was fun. But then I went back to work at the surf shop, and my mom was like, you better figure out what you're doing school-wise. Because you
Post high school, right?
Yeah, like
So
post high
college, what are
school,
you
like
gonna
figure
do?
out what you're gonna do. And I was like, oh, okay, like you have to go to school. So I
Hold
was
on,
like,
was that a family thing? You have to go to school?
I
kinda?
think so. And I
Okay.
think even for my grandpas, like, you know, they work so hard to make something for themselves. So it was really, and I didn't do it just for them, but it was like important that, you know, you come out being someone or being, you know, something that you're proud of, right? So you have to figure out what you're doing. And I feel like the old generation is like, it'd be great if you could be a doctor or a lawyer or like, you know, something that they could brag about. So I went to nursing school and I went to KCC and I did it here. And I went through the schooling and I graduated, but I didn't work as a nurse because I liked it, but I didn't want that for my life. And through that whole time, I still worked at the surf shop. And from there, the thing is, I started at 16 and I was doing snorkel gear, working on the floor. It was kind of like just a, you know, young job to have. But then as I stuck with it through my entire life, I've been there since I was 16 and I still work there to this
Hold
day.
on, you do?
I do.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
At Hanalei Surf?
At Hanalei Surf.
For
yeah.
Charlie? Mm-hmm. Oh, no way.
Yeah. And
If
so
anybody knows, so if you've been to Hanalei, you've been to Hanalei Surf because it's
Yeah.
it's the historic surf
Right.
shop. The other ones kind of change a bit, especially right now, but it's been there
It's been there
forever.
since, I mean, he started working out of his car in the 80s and then got into that storefront when they moved that school, because that's
Yep.
an old school. They moved there. It was actually my husband's like classroom that
No
they
way. You're
used
kidding.
as they use it as, you know, it's the gourmet and the shops and everything. So I feel like I didn't intend to stay there, but the space, like Charlie and Kathy, they're both, Charlie owns the surf shop. Kathy came in as a buyer, but 8 stores later, they're partners in all these stores, you know, so it's kind of evolved. And I went in there thinking this is going to be some high school job and I'm going to be done with it at some point, but they've, I think, allowed me so much growth. And so I helped them with their books, and currently I do all their accounting for all the surf shops. So
Wow.
I feel like they've given me, like, you know, that space to grow, make mistakes, fix them, and then ultimately trust me. So I think it's like I've come a long way. Like I've been there more than half my life.
20
You
years?
know? Yeah, about, well, I'm 44 now. Been there since I was 16,
Wow,
since
coming
like
up on-
90. Yeah. So it's been a while. I feel like, you know, I grew up with them. They're like my family.
Well, and they've done, and it's, I mean,
And they've done a lot for me.
and
So
well, I'm sure you've done a lot for
Right.
them. I mean, I'm in multi-door retail, so I totally,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't grow to 8 doors or 8
Yeah.
stores without having a really strong team that you can trust and
Right.
support. And I'm guessing for you, it's So I always say that my triangle of life is my house, my office, and the Newport Aquatic Center.
Yeah. Oh
And
my God,
yours
that's
is
mine.
Molokai, your house,
Yeah.
and
I was
Honolulu
like,
Surf.
I called it the Bermuda Triangle, but
Right?
same.
But it's
I'm
close.
like,
I mean,
those
you
are the
have-
3 places that's my hamster wheel.
And you never
right
have
there.
to leave. You never have to cross the bridge.
No. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, well, to go to the bank, but
Yeah.
if if your podcast wasn't in Lihue, I'd still
Sorry.
be counting how many days I haven't left Honolulu,
But
which
what
is,
I had no idea. And so again, this goes back to the private nature. Like, I didn't know that. I couldn't
Yeah.
find anything about what you do for work. Again, very stealth. So let me ask you this. So you go through the medical world, you become a nurse. I mean, that's a few-year program.
Oh
that you
yeah,
went
it was a
through.
few years, and like I said, I mean, I did it 'cause I had to go to school, and it was fine. I learned it, I loved it, and I appreciated all of it. But then towards the end, I was like, I don't think this is what I want to do. But my mom's like, at least finish it then, like, so I did. I finished, and then I went back to working at the surf shop, and it wasn't like it wasn't like I loved accounting. That's not something I wanted to sign up and do, but it's the lifestyle that was attached to it, and like, the ease of it and the people I worked for. I'm like, I cared about it so much that it became a part of my life, and so that's why I stuck with it.
Awesome.
So
well, we've spent a lot of money in that story, at least in the,
I do
in the-
too, no.
in the I'm sure, right? But I mean, our story is really interesting because I've got 2 degrees that have nothing to do with what I do, which is I'm back in retail. I started working in surf shops when I was 13.
Okay.
And worked all the way through, and
Right.
then college, and went a different path, and then came back. So there's something about, and you either love retail or you hate it. There's nothing in
Right,
between, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
know you're not working on the floor much anymore.
Not anymore.
right?
Yeah,
But
kinda
you can't.
either.
But supporting retail, like it's all.
I know
It's all retail.
Yeah.
Super cool story, super interesting. But again, your hamster wheel or
My
my
hamster
triangle
wheel,
of
yeah.
life is not
It's
dissimilar,
like- The work, the club, home, and the kids are kind of all incorporated
Yeah.
in there as
And
well.
your husband
so-
too, right?
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the family real quick. You mentioned Jody.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Molokai. So Molokai is there's 2 yacht clubs. There's 2 outrigger clubs right at the Honolulu Pier.
Right next to each other.
And there's a lot of hammers in there. So, but your husband, Jody, is a coach there. Talk about
Yeah.
the family real quick.
So Jody, he's a firefighter in Honolulu. And he paddled when he was a kid at Honolulu Canoe Club and then stopped. And then he just joined back up when I started doing it. 'Cause I mean, it was, I don't know. It was like kind of it's funny talking about, sports as an adult. I feel like you're like, oh, you're a kid, you grow out of it. And like as an adult, you kind of just do your own thing. But, yeah, we joined together, and we've been paddling there. He's been paddling there ever since. He's a head coach now. So after 4 years, he's been kind of running the women's and the men's. There's a women's and a men's coach, but he oversees everything. So
Got it.
yeah,
And it's interesting that the people that I run into paddling and that I've become friends with
yeah,
all tend to be Molokai people. People I've known, like whether it be the Steve Cole and like,
yeah.
and there's hammers
yeah,
at
and
all
there's some
ages. Right?
Legends in there too. I mean, geez, from paddling, you can go I feel like as long as you want, and it keeps you young. So there's like people that are 70 that we
Well,
still
like Jack,
race with. Yeah.
Jack Edgehill, who's what, 70 something, and
Yeah, he's like
smashes me every time.
He's like
every time I've ever
she's
paddled
one
with
of my training partners, Hobie and Ian and
Yeah.
Jody. If he usually tries to hide, but he doesn't like to do sprints with all of us. But yeah, those.
That's pretty cool.
It's almost like every all the age groups.
It's pretty neat. Well, let's talk about canoe clubs, because you paddle for Molokai.
Yeah.
You've been there, you said, since the beginning.
Yeah.
But
since
when you
05.
get into race mode, you've paddled for other clubs, haven't you?
No, I've never paddled for any other club. Stayed with the Molokai. I got invited to be with Team Bradley like in 2009, and I've been with them ever since till.
So so when you're with Team Bradley, you're
Yeah.
racing the big races with them?
Yes.
It's like the ringer boat.
And it's like, I feel like there's girls from every island, and it's just, I mean, this team started, I feel like as far back as like maybe 1998. It was just like a group of girls that came together. Sunny Bradley, the canoe maker, made these girls a canoe. They raced it, they did good, and it just kind of evolved into this, whether, the girls retire out, new ones come in, it's the same team aesthetically and stay. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, but I mean, you're just constantly putting in some of the best from across
Yeah,
the islands
yeah.
to compete at the highest level.
Yeah,
Right.
and I've been so fortunate to be with them since 2009. So yeah, we do like I'll train with the Molokai. We'll do like our regattas and any on island long distance races. But when comes time to like starting to train for Molokai, there's races on Oahu and even Maui that lead up to it, and I paddle with them.
So let's go back a little bit. So you started, remind me, like 2005, is that what you said?
Yeah,
you
I started paddling in 05.
And in by 9, so 4 years in,
Yeah.
you get invited up on
Yeah.
to Team Bradley.
Right, yeah, which is pretty cool. It's like a dream.
Well, you
or
earn,
fantasy.
but you don't get that one
came
easy.
true.
That's rad.
Yeah,
But you don't get
so-
that. I mean, you earn that. I mean, you earn every spot when you're getting to elite boats.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of butts fighting for those seats, right?
Yeah, and I think like those girls, we've never had to compete against each other for a seat together. I think it's kind of a unique situation where, if, say like a couple girls retire out, new girls are brought in, and everyone supports each other, and it's we trust the coaches that that was the right call, and we trust each other that we're there doing our jobs together, and I would have any of their backs and they would have mine. And so ever since I've been there was never we've never competed against each other for a seat to be on that team. So I think that's pretty special, because I don't know any other competitive groups that do that just say, hey, like, I believe in you, I trust you, come and join us, because before that I had nothing on paper that was like, oh, I think she's really good. I never did any solos. I didn't
So
do
you didn't have
anything.
any big accomplishments
No, I didn't.
individually leading up to that, but
No.
did somebody see something? Like,
Yeah, and I think one of the girls, Noe, she was their steers person for 10 plus years, and she lives on Kauai, and she saw potential in me and Alana Gu, who also joined the team at the same time. She lives on Kauai. She paddled here and saw some potential. I was like, hey, look at these girls. These girls are, pretty good. Check them out. Yeah, and like I said, I was like, oh, that's a good dream to even paddle with them. And we went, and it stuck, and we've been on the team ever since. So I think that's pretty cool that I feel like, wow, they just saw potential and went with that, as being
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years in. I think I was like, that's pretty special. Like,
that's incredible.
I feel like I always felt like I had something to prove, though. Like, I was like, oh, these girls are so good. I mean, you have Lauren Spalding, who's won like dozens of solos, and Olympic paddler and all these kind of things. And I'm like, ooh, hi, it's me. I always felt like I was striving to bring something to the table. So all I could do was give it my all on that team. But essentially, that's kind of all I had.
Is that feeling of like having to continually make sure that you're worthy been part of the driving force in how you train,
Yeah,
the way you train?
I think so. Absolutely. Because like I said, I was proving to them like, okay, I think I'm good enough for this. But I also hadn't proved to myself that I was good enough, if that makes any sense. It wasn't like I was oozing confidence and thinking like, oh no, I'm good enough for this, or had that headstrong mentality. So it was,
So when did you, I'm guessing now you've got some of that confidence.
in the last few years. Yes.
So when did that, what flipped it where that you started to gain that confidence? Was the success of that boat with you being part of it, or in like your success of getting faster on the OC1? Like where did you start to like go, oh, maybe I do? Like, I think a lot of people, especially when you start having some success, or
Yeah.
you get invited into a boat like that,
Yeah.
or people I talk to, it's their first Olympics, like it's the imposter syndrome. Like, I don't belong here
You're
with
like,
them.
they could do that. I'm
Right?
like, pretty sure they could do this without me.
Right?
But yeah, I swear, I mean, I feel like only now, maybe after this solo, I was like, okay, I think I did pretty good. Or I just look at it like I made maybe the least amount of mistakes in the channel to have gotten that victory. But I still question myself now. So it's like
But that
hard for me to say,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just have a hard time with
But listen, I like humble. Humble's good. I love it. At the same time, you could look at what you have accomplished.
yeah.
And anybody else would go, how can she feel that way when she's accomplished X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but you've already brought it up. You mentioned winning Molokai the second time.
Yeah.
So were you feeling when you won the first time in 2023, you won your first Molokai challenge,
Yeah.
or Molokai crossing, the second time, so you could have gone, well, maybe I just got lucky.
Absolutely. I mean, that was my second solo. My first solo was after my daughter, and I just was like, I feel like I have something to prove. You know, you've been off the water for like a year, and you're like, I want to cross the channel on my own. And so I did it with like maybe 2-month preparation and not knowing.
So you just had your daughter.
Yeah, just had her. Well, she's about a year. So
Then you get back on the
I
water.
was like, I'm gonna do this. Like, you know, you've been caged up for long enough. You're like gonna do something crazy. So solo was one of them. And then I did it then, which was I think in 13 or 14, and then nothing till 2023.
How was the first one? How was that?
The first one was headwinds.
Oh,
So it was great. No, it was, I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to finish it on my own. And that was just more of like a, something for me. I wasn't going in there to try to compete. Yes, I'm competing, but it was more like, I just want to do this for myself to know that I can cross the channel by myself.
got it. But by that time, you had already done the channel numerous times.
In a 9-man,
Bradley,
yes,
yeah.
with Team Bradley. So like I had the team, right? To give to rely on. And so it's a different mindset when you're all by yourself and anything you do, it's all you, and it's a little lonely out there, but it's a different mindset. So I think doing it solo is like a gear change, and it's obviously more for yourself. You're doing it to either, you know, prove to yourself that you can do it, or show people like, hey, this is what I can do on my own.
Yeah.
Break out as a solo star. And
How did you feel when you finished that one?
that first one, I felt good. I was like, wow, I did it. It was good. It was an accomplishment. And then I hung it. I mean, for me, it was hard to do 2 seasons with the kids and work. So I either had to, this sport, I feel like you're all in. And if 1-man season kind of rolls into 6-man season, so essentially you're paddling year round. And I didn't have the time to do that. So I feel like I had a 10-year gap of just doing one or the other. And the one I chose was 6-man because of the girls I get to paddle with. And it's just, you know, what I did. And so I didn't start 1-man till 2023, the solo.
You didn't.
I mean, I've been 1-manning like on the island.
Yeah,
But I didn't do any other Oahu races. I didn't do any other races anywhere else except for here. And so that was like my first.
So 2023 was your first solo in 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put a pin on.
I was
that
going to
one.
try to do it before COVID. My whole plan was like, I better do the solo before I turn 40. Because after 40, who knows what's going to happen?
Clearly, it worked out okay.
And then COVID hit, and there was like that 4-year gap. So then I'm like, here you are at what, 41 or 42 I was.
Hold on. Okay, so we're gonna get to that's really. So we talked about your husband Jody.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the kids. Just how old are the kids?
Daughter's 13, boy is going to be 10 soon, like this month. So they're.
Got it. So with my experience with having kids that
Yeah.
age, like you can start to have. They have a life. They're staying busy.
Yeah.
You're not. It's not 24/7. So you can start training again
Right.
at the level that you want.
Yeah.
But you're busy. I mean, you've got.
Yeah.
You're. I know you're juggling a lot. So thank you again for taking the time to come down here and crossing the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, so during the 2009 until 2023, you've done 1 solo. You've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
But you're still racing Team Bradley. Are you doing 9-man season every year during that time?
Yes, I did, except for the 2 years that I had the kids.
Got it.
I was,
and yet after the kids, you still got an invitation right back into the boat.
Yeah, I don't think you get uninvited until you're ready to roll out. But,
Unless you start to suck. If you get really slow, you might get
yeah,
uninvited.
something like
right?
that.
Got it.
But
And
yeah.
So let's talk about that real quick. What kind of successes were Team Bradley having?
I won my first channel the first year I did it with them in 2009. So I feel like off the bat, I'm like, wow, I'm a part of this really good team. I better not blow it. So I definitely gave it my all. And I don't know the numbers exactly, but I feel like they won about 13 channels. I think I was a part of
incredible.
7 of them, or 8. Yeah.
That's no small feat.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, definitely got taken down. I got second twice with them to Waikiki Beach Boys. I forget what years they were, but those were, I mean, still we did amazing.
Are you guys the winningest group? I know offshore at one point was really.
I believe, yeah, offshore was, and I think Team Bradley might have
Taken
surpassed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. So here you are, you got something like 8 wins. Those are, and that's considered the world championship, 7, 8, whatever it is.
Yeah.
In a 9-man boat with some of the, obviously the best women paddlers.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, after a 10-year break on one man, you decide to get back in it. And some of the women in that boat are some of the winningest people. You mentioned Lauren. You've got other people in the boat that are some of the winningest, and you're going to go compete against some of your closest friends at the highest level.
Yeah.
So let's talk about 2023. Nobody knows what to expect from you. They know who you are. Clearly, you're very accomplished in outrigger paddling. And they've been seeing you paddle around here,
right?
Some of the local races. Did anybody know what was coming?
I mean, I don't even think I knew how I was going to do. I had no idea. I've never raced against any of them, including Lauren. Lauren's like the goat of paddling. She's, won so many channels and is so accomplished that to even be alongside her, it was kind of an honor and scary at the same time. I've been with her competing, so it didn't scare me as much, right? I didn't want to let her down, but now I'm like against her. That's like a whole nother ball game. So I saw, her competitive side when I'm like, dang, I'm like on the opposite side of that. I want to be with it, but not against it. So it's intimidating. It's intimidating flying to Oahu and lining up with 50 other women that I know and don't know. And so it took a lot for me, I feel like, to do that. And I think I forced myself to do it. And I'm happy with how it turned out. I was very surprised. I think I got lucky in a sense because I wasn't really on the radar and I didn't know how I was going to do or fare next to those girls like Lindsay, Shank, and Lauren at that time. So that's how I felt for 2023.
And yet you took it down.
Very fortunate and lucky. Yeah.
So that's incredible. And what I'm trying to put my mind, if I was Lindsay or Lauren, who have won it, Lauren's won it, I think 12 times, Lindsay's won it a few times, and then they see their friend right next to them or ahead of them. Now in Molokai, it gets super spread out very quickly.
Yeah.
Were you on a similar line? Like, were you close by, or did you even know where they were?
No, 23, I didn't see them. I didn't know where they were. Off the bat, this is how we approached the solos. I got course advice from our now coach, Kelly Fay. She, I'm like, okay, if you know Molokai, you know that channel is half navigation and half your ability to surf and last as long as you can in whatever conditions are there. And you'll never get the same channel twice. So knowing the tide and the current and the wind and the swell is all helpful and key to being successful, I think, in that race. And so first thing I did was call Kelly Fay and asked her, like, hey, where do I go? What course? And she, helped me out and, gave us points and advice. Like, she's like, hey, I'd hang north because the wind's doing this. By the time you get to Oahu, it's going to be headwind. So I'm like, okay, sweet. Stick to that. That's on paper.
Right.
And so my husband was good. Like, he's strategic. So he's like, stuck to that, watched the competitors, and like had to make the choice, I think, of do you stay with them and race them, or do you stay with what looks race. Right? Yeah. And that was the gamble, I think. And I think what happened was, that day the course was running south. And so Lindsay and Lauren went south racing each other, and I stuck to my line. I don't think anyone was really maybe paying attention to what I was doing. Stealth. And it just like, we're like, okay, I was behind with them, but like a mile away, like on either, Lindsay and Lauren were like maybe a mile south of where I was. And by the time you came to an Oahu that day, it was like heavier north wind, so it was like headwinds. So if you went too south, you're fighting it coming all the way in. And I think I got lucky on my course where I kind of swooped in and got ahead and didn't know it, by the way.
When did you figure out where
till
you
I
were?
crossed the finish line?
You did not know. Your boat didn't know, they weren't.
Jody, like, cause he was like, okay, Lauren, I see her, she's way south, but behind you, I don't know where Lindsay is, because we're like miles apart, and so no one really has any points on where anyone is, including them. I don't even think they knew where I was, so I didn't know. So
they're potentially way south racing each other, and you're sneaking in over here.
And I'm sneaking in, and I crossed the line, and I didn't know it, because when I came in, I was like, how did I do? Like, where is where is everybody? So I was a little surprised myself. Wow. I didn't know it, but
how did that feel after
it was incredible. It was surreal. I had to sit in the car for a second and be like, what just happened? I felt so lucky, and
but what's really amazing too, second crossing, you got a 10-year gap and 2 kids thrown in the middle, and you come back, and your first year back, you take it down.
That was more than I can even ask for. That's so I couldn't believe I checked that box. It was pretty incredible.
Well, kudos to you on it. I always, every time people talk about Molokai, I go back to a quote from Johnny Puakea. We had an interview, and he goes, Mark, Molokai is not a surfing race. It is all strategy and logistics and knowing the water and all the stuff that you guys did. Who knows that water the best, and what do we need to do? And hopefully that sticks throughout the day. Right. And then there's the hammer factor of being able to go and keep going all day and surf really well and not miss too many bumps, but amazing. So, okay. And then you come back, and meanwhile you go on, well, let me step back. You've also raced the not tandem. What do you guys call it? It's the 2-person, the relay.
The relay. Yeah.
How many times, when did you start doing that?
That I just did twice. I did it this year with my girl Beata, and then last year I did it with Lindsay. Okay. Yeah.
You did it with Lindsay last year?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2023, you win it.
Yes.
You win the solo, world champion. 2024, you now have the stealth girl has a target.
It was like more pressure than I liked the first year better, because there was like no expectations, just gonna do it. And then 24, I felt like this heavy burden of like, God, am I gonna disappoint? Am I supposed to win again? You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure, and I don't like that. And I don't like the attention. I don't like any of it. I like just kind of coming in, doing my own thing. But needless to say, it was the biggest channel, by the way, I've ever seen. Really big, right? I feel like that was borderline.
Really?
That was big. I got taken out hour in, off my boat, under.
So if anybody
I went through an actual wave, because it hit me from the side. But yeah, I kind of came a little undone. In that race, it was big. It was fast. It was a record-breaking year. Lindsay won it, broke the record. And I think also Pat Dolan, sorry.
And then Pat came back this year and won it on ski.
Amazing.
Impressive,
so he's,
right?
Very.
Okay, so just for anybody's sake, Molokai, I always talk about in paddling sports, whether it's prone, stand-up, surf ski, outrigger, there's a big race is the Catalina race.
Yeah.
And then there's the Molokai race. They're the same distance, but they couldn't be more different. And I always say Catalina's kind of like equating it to skiing. It's like slalom. So it's smooth, or ideally pretty smooth. And then Molokai is moguls. It's the same sport, but completely different application, right? Or road bike to mountain bike. Similar, but somebody can be really good in flat water and in California water and come over here and it's completely I've paddled a lot in my life, but you guys saw me yesterday. Me and the bump over here is so different than the bump at home, and you really have to spend time talking to Danny Ching and Johnny. They're all I was like, how do you win? How do you perform at that level in Molokai if you come from California? You have to spend a lot of time in Hawaii, right? So it's really amazing. And that, to your point, just want to talk about the size. When you say it's that big, and you go ama under. So if anybody can imagine, you're on an outrigger and you've got the outrigger, the ama, it goes all the way under.
It flips from under and throws you the.
It's launched.
It's like a launch. Yeah. So
that'll wake you up.
Yeah, that was intense. And I saw it, like, we're, in the channel, it was just so hectic. And I feel like in the first part of that race was the biggest. I don't know if the water's just a little shallower and the waves, and the wind's blowing like 30 knots and stacking and like huge. I think it was, I don't know how big it was, I was like one of those, it was this big, but it was the biggest water I've ever seen. And after, trying to navigate through that in the beginning and not get taken out, seeing guys getting taken out next to me, just like praying to not hit a landmine. And when I did, I think it kind of just shook me, and then it just leaves you a little scared. And then I like lost my paddle for a minute or so until my husband could get me another one. And I literally, we normally tie a paddle to our ama or yako. So safety, if you lose a paddle, you have one. And I was like, oh, that might take so long. It's easier if I lose one, my husband can just go drop me one. But it was so big that the escort boats couldn't even come near you. It's like, it was just like this mishmash of like 100 other boats trying to navigate through other paddlers, not getting run over by your escort boat or another escort boat. And then, sit like after I get taken out, get going a bit, lose my paddle, and then I'm sitting there for like a minute or two waiting for my other one. I just felt like the mistakes that were made on, my part were just like, well, there's that. And so
we also call that Mother Nature, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So how'd you do that year?
That year I got third. Yeah. And
behind whom?
Lindsay won, Lauren got second, and I got third.
You're still in.
But I'm stoked. I'm like, oh my God.
After getting cleaned up and losing your paddle and still coming in behind two of the best. And again, women that you're friends with. So what changes when you're in a boat? Like, do these women, they go from being friends when you're paddling, like with Lauren, and you're in the boat with them for years and years, and then you take her down in 23, and in 24, are you guys looking at each other a little bit differently? Like I love you in 6-man.
Yeah, totally.
But 1-man, it's on.
Yeah. I've known her for so long that we're going to be the same, but I was like, oh God, I don't like being on the receiving end of,
of the best
claws coming out with the best girls on the water. So it was always, I was like, oh, it was much more safer in 6-man because you're with them and you're fighting with them, not going against them. So it was a different feeling and a different type of nervous. Yeah. Because I know what she's capable of.
Oh, yeah. The whole world.
So now I know exactly what she's capable of. And so now I got to go against her. It's like, brings a little bit more pressure to the table for myself.
And yet you do it again in 2025.
Do it again.
So it brings us to 25.
Yeah.
Talk about 2025.
25. Well, I did it because, now I just have to keep doing it. After, the other 2 years, I have no real excuses, I guess. But I feel like I'm 44, so I feel like, there's a time limit on maybe being really good at something. I'm gonna get, probably age out. So I'm like, I better just keep doing it till I can't, or, I don't know, whatever the mindset is. So that's why I did it again, and I might do it next year. Who knows?
Well, how'd it go in 25?
25, it went really well. It was a good, we had great conditions, not as big as last year. It was manageable, but excellent conditions, like the right tide. And I think it was going up. Minor south swell, not too big of a north swell, and like almost perfect trades. And I think I went into this year for the first time actually wanting to race it and be like, no, I think I can. Last year was a lot. I just, the weather kind of was a little bit much for me.
It was a bit of a survival.
Yeah, I could have teleported out of there if I had the option. I would have been like, yeah, I'm out. I don't want to be here anymore. And the first year I just went in kind of blind. So it was just one of those oh, wow, that really worked out. So this year I was like, I'm going to train. I want to race it. I'm still very nervous, but less pressure, I guess, as last year, right? I feel like, I won in 23 and everyone's like, oh, you're going to win it again. I'm like, I'm lucky I won it once. And that's I'm happy with that. So with all that being said, I trained for it. I did it. We had a great channel, very competitive. I think one of the girls I paddle with now, Beata, she also rides for Kamanu. She was doing really well because what I do is for training, I'll fly to Oahu and try to do some of those one-man races there. They're a little longer, and then I get to race along all the women that are probably going to do Molokai. So it's kind of a good like gauge. I'm like, hey, how's your training going? You know, and just getting the experience there. And then there's Iloha from Tahiti that came. She was kind of a wild card this year. She's a champion V1 paddler, and this was her first solo. So it was like, you know, it's like it's cool to be up against the best and to line up with them and do all the things. So
the Tahitians know how to paddle.
they know how to paddle. They're really good.
And they're world class in V1, so rudderless. And then you put them in with a rudder, and it's like
I know.
child's
It's
play,
like,
right?
I'm just assuming you know how to do this.
Yeah, it's
So
incredible.
yeah, it was fun. And I did great. And I had my husband on board again. Same thing. Got my advice from Kelly Faye, got my navigation in check, and Jody, he's really good. He's just as nervous as I am because he doesn't want to blow it. He wants to make sure I'm on course, make sure he keeps eyes on the competition, and he's like moving where we need to go. And so I think he played a huge role in my success there. And
Well, the way I look at Jody with this is coach,
yeah,
firefighter,
yeah.
husband.
Safety.
He's like triple,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's got the whole thing.
He's
like
got the resume.
Yes,
he's
for
doing
sure.
pretty good.
good to have in your court.
Yeah.
Was this year, from a course perspective,
Mm-hmm.
was it like it was in 23 where it was really spread out, or was it more like, were you racing more closely this time?
I think we're racing a little more closely. Of course, we lost sight of some people along the way, but for the most part, I think I was like focused on, I'm like, just don't lose Lauren because she kind of knows where she's going, and just have eyes on her. So we kind of played it like that. We stayed on course. I did surf down a little off my line a little bit, which I was like, I don't think that was good, but for whatever reason, it's just
It worked out.
how it worked out. And, you know, coming in, going through the channel, like, you know, she's like, okay, she's always at your 2:00. That was the only thing he's really yelling at me, because I'm never like, where am I? Like, where's everybody? I'm just trying to do my thing with the least bit of mistakes as possible. I feel like, you know, because if you look at that race, I think I only won by 30 seconds or so. It was really close, and it could have been like, oh, maybe because I didn't do a water drop, or, you know, something.
Didn't go under.
I
Didn't
go
lose my
under.
paddle.
I did lose my paddle.
Oh, you did?
But I had one strapped to my yako, and I pulled that one really quick. So luckily I did that fast enough. So that was fine. But
See, you learn.
yeah,
You learned it,
yeah,
right?
you learn. But it was good. And I think she was always ahead of me, always a little up higher. So this year, I think the way it went was, you have that rum line, right? Closest distance from Molokai to Oahu. You want to stay on that line. The way the wind is flowing, or the tide, you could kind of adjust higher or lower. And I think the call was to go a little bit higher because of the way the tide was going to push you off of Oahu. So I ended up sliding a little bit lower than I wanted to. Lauren stayed on that line. But coming into Oahu, I think by Hanauma Bay, I started to kind of move. And I think by the time I came into Hawaii Kai, I got a little ahead of her. But she was not going to let down. And I think what was happening, she knew that, saw that, and just kind of gambled in a way where I think she ran that wall tight, like coming into Hawaii Kai, like
China wall.
running that surf. And there was a swell. And before we went through there, a huge set came through and took off, took out a lot of people, not paddlers, but like it was that inconsistent south swell. So you got to gamble. Are you going to hug the wall, or are you going to play it safe? And hi, I'm over here in the channel. I usually play it safe because I don't like to.
You don't want to get cleaned up.
I don't want to
at
be
the
in that
finish.
danger zone.
Yeah.
But she ran the wall and did an excellent job at it, because she caught right back up to me. And I think when I looked back at the footage, everyone's like, where's Lauren? She didn't have her tracker on, so she came in stealth. And when I looked to, there's these pillars that kind of line Hawaii Kai coming in, because the end is like through the bridge, as you know. But when I looked to my right. She was like directly next to me. So
Oh my God.
I think I've paddled like the hardest I ever did in my life. I hit red and I was just going red to the end, and it's like all I had. It was
Kristen, it's incredible
it
because
was
for
an
it was
intense race.
32 miles.
Yeah.
It was just over 4 hours, if I recall
Yeah.
correctly, which 4 miles of super concentration, trying not to miss a bump,
Yeah.
hammering as hard as you can, seeing the other best in the world alongside you. And then the last, what people don't often know, if you haven't done Molokai, is the last 2 miles is straight into a headwind.
Yeah.
You're in relatively flat water unless there's surf.
Unless there's something
And
you can catch.
and people get cleaned up.
Yeah.
All the time. Every year people get cleaned
Yeah.
up. The Tahitians there's like Tahitian Reef, right?
Yeah.
Where people have broken boats with a mile to go.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to take advantage.
Yeah.
And China Wall, as a California paddler, I look at China Wall, I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, it is so on. It's so
Yeah.
sloppy. It's so different.
Yeah.
And so to be able to navigate that, the whole thing, everything about it. So you race for 4 hours 12 or something, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly, and you get her by 30 seconds.
Yeah. I
Staggering.
like so many things in my head. I'm like, I could lose it. It would be fine because I literally
You're like,
gave it
"I'm
all I
done."
had. I was in the red. I was ready to it
you're
was like one
done.
of those, the
Pop.
marathon runners that start to crumble right before the finish line. It was like one of those things. I crossed the finish line and I was done. I couldn't even talk. I'm pretty sure I saw the media boat coming. I couldn't. I literally got off the dock, left my canoe, and had to walk and go sit in a corner to just get myself together because
Take an hour
I
to get your
gave
heart
it
rate down.
everything.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So how did that feel? Because you said 2023, you were a surprise, nobody's
Yeah.
really paying attention, and then to go nose to nose with
Yeah.
the greatest of all
Right.
time with Lauren Spalding, and again with your history of paddling together in the boat, and then this time being eye to eye to the
Yeah.
very end. Do you think you lost? Have you given up the imposter syndrome now? You earned that one, right?
Yeah, that one, it took a while to sink in too. I'm just like, God, okay, I think I did it. Like, this is it. But it was, I did gain a bit of confidence from it because I was like, wow, I trained, I did my thing, and I pulled out on top. But I also woke up the next morning. I was like, there's only 363 more days
Till the next
till
one.
the next one. So it's like, it's always going, and you're just only as good as the next, right? So, but I take these wins and I'm forever. Like, it's nothing that I thought I'd ever accomplish on my own. So I'm just like grateful that I had the one and then now the second. That's nothing I could have ever dreamed, I think. That would,
Well
so
done.
I surprised myself.
Congratulations. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Well then, but you weren't done. What did you do a couple weeks later?
What did I do? Like this, the relay.
The relay.
Yeah.
Tell us
Did
about
the relay.
So what's the relay?
The relay is way more fun. There's someone else that you can rely on, and it's not all not all on your own, and it's with a friend. And we had a great time. My friend Beata, we raced Lauren again, and Andrea, another team member of
Andrea
Bradley.
Mahler
Yeah,
from
Andrea
Maui.
Mahler. She's
Big water.
Swiss Army knife
Yeah.
of water sports.
For sure.
So, intimidating bunch again, but way more fun because I feel like I did the hardest thing I could have. On the water. So this one with a partner felt a lot more enjoyable. Let's just
And it
say
was
that.
only a couple weeks later, right?
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, good. Enough time to rest and you're still in shape. So
Yeah, you're
what
still
better
at the
time to
peak.
do it? Yeah. Yeah.
It's not much of a taper.
No. you just
Red
kinda
lining Molokai
you
and then
just
coming
kinda-
back.
Yeah, exactly. Red line, rest, and then do it again, but
And
at a
how'd it
more
go?
enjoyable. Well, we won. We won our
So
our relay.
two
Yeah.
Molokais
Yeah.
wins 2 weeks apart.
Yeah. Stoked. So
And
happy.
again, when you take down, listen, Lauren, again, with 12, I think she has 12 outrigger wins, like 3 surf ski wins. Like she's
decorated.
incredible.
Yeah.
But you took her twice. And with Andrea, like you took a top
Yeah.
down twice.
I know.
Love you. So let me ask you this from a competitive side. Some people I get in here that are in your shoes and they are eye of the tiger. They are competitors. They are ferocious. You don't come across that way. You seem like, and maybe it's a stealth competitive nature, but you seem like you're super competitive with yourself. You want to do the best you can do, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, and I don't want to say like, oh, I just, I don't take any of this lightly. I don't train from January through May just to, I do want to approach it competitively, but I think the confidence for me, I just I'm not confident in myself, I guess, like growing up or doing all these things, and it takes me a second to talk myself into like, no, you can do this, and you're worthy of it all. So I guess I'm a little shy about it, to say the least. I'm not eye of the tiger. I'm very competitive, but not outwardly, maybe.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you finish, then you're like, I've got 363 days till the next one. So yeah, but it's always interesting to see how competitiveness manifests in people.
Yeah.
Because you can have the same outcome with totally different approaches of getting there.
Yeah.
And you seem like you have, again, maybe the softer competitive nature. Again, some people are like, I was going to take Lindsay down no matter what.
Yeah.
Some people, I remember when Jamie Mitchell won his 10 Molokais, he's like, I just knew I'd be willing to put myself in the hospital to win, and nobody else was going to work that hard.
Right.
Like he was like, there's no stopping.
You're like you're going to do it.
But, everybody has their secret to success, right? Does yours come from knowing that you did all the work, that you've done the training?
Yeah, and it's also people reminding me that, like I said, I still I could train for 4 months solid, everything I'm supposed to do, but sometimes I just need that reassurance, like you're doing the work and you're good. And it's funny because Kea Bartlett actually is the one in 6-man. I'm like freaking out, and she's like, what are you so scared about? You did the work, you put it all in, like now have fun. I'm like, okay, yeah. It's just need those reminders. I think I'm always just kind of worried. I feel like I could compare myself to like the Cowardly Lion in Wizard of Oz. Everyone looks at you and is like, oh, she should know what she's doing, she should be competitive and all this kind of things. But really I'm like freaking out inside, and trying to approach things like a little bit more forceful, but I think that's just my personality. I'm like, I feel like maybe I approach it defensively rather than offensively, if that makes any sense.
And yet
I'll
works.
defend myself, but
and yet it works, and has worked very, I mean, so how many, whether 1-man or 6-man or the relay, how many Molokai wins have you been a part of? Do you know?
I think 11.
Oh my gosh.
I think, yeah.
Pretty decorated.
That's a lot.
Sister.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right?
That's incredible. I'm like,
most of us have no wins, just for reference.
I'm
zero.
I'm so grateful for even being able to do any of it, being like healthy enough to like compete and train and like have all the support. It has to organically all work. You have to this is a sport that we do because it's a part of our lifestyle. We pay for it. It's not like we're getting paid for it, but we train like paid athletes. But you know what I mean? You're still going to work and you're still doing your whole life and answering to people that don't know about your paddling world, So it's like a secret society in a way, I guess. If you don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah,
but
right.
it's a prestigious thing here because this is what we do, in Hawaii. A lot of us paddle, Tahiti even more so. So it's like a part of our world. It's a part of our life more so than just a sport to me. So
you still love it?
I love it. Yeah.
What about it?
I think it's just that time you get on the water on your own. There's a certain clarity to it. I don't think it's fun to train. It's hard work, but I think I enjoy the hard work, and I think I enjoy doing what, I gotta do and what I'm able to do and capable to do. So with that being said, I like all of that. Like, cause when you do Molokai, it's not like a fun race. It's fun when it's done. There's special moments in there that's fun, but I'm not going to say like the solo or the crossing is like a blast, because it's technical, it's hard, but that's what's enjoyable about it. It's
a little
hard.
Bit. It's hard. It's a
little
bit of
do it, and it's like amazing.
And if you win 11 times over, clearly it's working.
Yeah, it's huge. So
there's a little bit of that type 2 fun in the channel,
exactly
right? It's not as fun when you're doing it, but it's really fun when it's done.
Yeah, when you're done, you're like, God, that was amazing.
Yeah. Well, How you said you go over to Oahu to do some of the races
Yeah.
to be competitive. Have you done other races internationally, nationally?
I have done internationally. We've 6-man in Tahiti, Hawaii Canoe. We've done. We did it last year. We won, which is awesome.
Hold on. Let's talk about Hawaii Canoe because that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about what that is.
I feel like it's like the NFL of paddling, you know, like, and you go to Tahiti, it's like, it's big here, but when you go there, that's like their world. I feel like the government backs it. It's, you know,
They are being
they're
paid.
huge. They're being paid. They're being given jobs to, you know, train and then all the things. So it's a big thing. And in their water, in their craft, they're the best at it. So to come from Hawaii and like, you know, we had to go from a Bradley canoe to a Matahina, and it's a little different. It's a little bit more of a flat water canoe and similar paddling style, but I think, you know, the stroke needs to be a little bit different. We had to dial it in. So after the Nauahine last year, we stuck it out for another month, and I'd fly to Oahu and train with the girls and, you know, practice so that in Tahiti we could compete with some of the best there, and we did really well. We did both days. We won both days. There was a 2-day race for the girls.
Oh, it's a 3 for the men and
3
2
for the men, 2 for the girls.
And
We're
they're
trying
pretty,
to make a third.
and they're usually pretty gnarly. Different. Tell a little bit about what the 2 days were this year.
The 2 days, one of them was like just the start and the finish was in the same place, but which is about, God, I can't remember the mileage. I want to say like an hour and a half it took. And then the second day was a bit longer, where you go from Raiatea to Ha'a. It's like another island. And you race there. And it was second day was a little bit longer. It's like more like 2.5 hours. So
I think the men's, like the third day is the extra super long, right?
Super long one. We followed them. It's grueling. It's hot. It's flat. It's all the things. And I think that one is like a 30+ mile, 36-mile race on that third day.
Okay, so you guys don't have that extra super long one.
We don't have that third day.
But to take it for a Hawaiian, this was a Hawaiian team. Was this Team Bradley?
Yes.
Same girls?
Yeah, Team Hawaii.
Team Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you guys took it down.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah. And we hadn't gone in, I haven't gone, like the first year I went, I think was in 2010 and 11. And then we haven't gone back
quite a while
since then.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But there's other Hawaii crews that has gone and raced in it as well.
How was that received for Team Hawaii to take it down when you were there?
I thought they're just happy about everything, and they're like, you know, congratulated us like in a way where I was like, oh, they're very accepting of this. But I think they support it so much, and they just like, you know, whoever wins, and they're gonna celebrate that team no matter if they're from Tahiti or not. Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, Tahiti wanted like their girls to win, but I didn't feel any kind of resentment towards it. You know what I mean?
Next year they're going to be coming after you.
But maybe
right?
Next year there's a little bit more.
I'm sure. I mean, listen,
but they're so welcoming.
Well, they're so passionate about the sport. They have to give you.
They're so helpful. It's like.
Yeah, I've never raced down there, but I've heard all the stories that
Yeah.
they're wonderful on land, but once you're in the water, they are.
Oh, they're fierce competitors. Absolutely.
like tenacious competitors.
Absolutely.
Like the rubbing and racing happens a lot down there, from what I understand.
A little bit more than here. I think
Yeah.
we're more courteous because we gotta then see the person in the parking lot. You know.
I've had my buddies tell me like, dude, they're flipping amas. Like they're definitely like it's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I feel like the girls behave maybe better than the guys though.
What a surprise! What a surprise! I was going to ask. So congratulations. Have you come over and have you done Catalina or any of the others?
Not yet. No, I haven't done anything
Yet.
in the mainland.
I love yet.
I'd love to do like the Gorge or Catalina. I don't know.
You've done haven't you done the Gorge?
No,
Oh, you haven't.
Haven't.
Got it.
Yeah, so I haven't raced outside.
It's pure downwind.
Tropical water.
Yeah. It seems like your happy place.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. So when you won the 2025 Molokai World Championships, I heard there was a bit of a surprise at a regatta where you might have received some recognition.
Yeah.
Because I know you love that attention.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
What
I
happened?
got recognized for my accomplishments, and it was so cool. the thing about here, I feel like the community is so supportive, not just the paddlers, but like, I mean, when someone from here, this island shines, like everyone is behind you, you know, and they're all supportive. And same goes with like, if you need something, you know, you need help, the community is there to back you. And I just think that's something really special, that whether they know you personally or not, they're happy for you and they like support you. So I got a huge, I don't know if it's an award or
You got something. You got recognized.
I got recognized at one of the last Pu'uvai regattas by Luke Evslin and Felicia Cowden for the, you know, my accomplishments, which I thought was really cool. Very surprised. Did not love the eyes on me, but I got like the longest victory tunnel I think I've ever seen. So that was kind of cool. Me and my kids ran through it.
That's so rad.
They were so pumped. My daughter was she was so proud, which was funny because I don't know, like, you know, I always feel like maybe the kids aren't really paying attention, but seeing my daughter, she's like 13 now, she's absolutely has been paying attention, because I mean, she's wanting to paddle now, she's wanting to train, but nothing I've ever, you know, told her. I don't like to press what I like to do and make them like to do it. I kind of just give them, you know, an array of options, like, hey, I'm gonna put you in all these things and we're gonna figure out what you want to do, because you got to do something. But yeah, she's really taken to it, and it's kind of cool. They're so proud. It made me feel good.
That's amazing.
Really good.
Congratulations. And I love that they surprised you, because if you knew it was coming, you probably wouldn't have shown up.
Like
right? But I heard about that.
Yeah.
Now. That's so neat. So let's talk real quick, going back to kids. And it's so interesting to me. It always comes up from elite athletes or coaches on how they look at sport for their kids. What you just said is exactly what I hear all the time. I'm not going to push them in anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to let them figure out what they like. They have to do something, but like, let them do it all and figure out what they love.
Yeah.
I've heard this from Danny Ching and from like everybody that is in that world. It's funny because there's so many aggressive parents out there. I have this conversation all the time. It comes up on almost every pod, because you see the parents, but the more competitive or the more accomplished, or if a parent is a coach, they rarely have that outlook. They're like, no. We're going to make it as fun as possible.
Right.
We're going to have them do multi-sport. And if they gravitate towards one on their own, awesome. But we're not going to force it. And we're not like, it's such a healthy outlook.
Yeah. I think it's helpful. I mean, I didn't grow up being pushed into anything. I mean, we just kind of did whatever we wanted to do. And I feel like I found this sport on my own. Granted, it was in my 20s. It wasn't like when I was a kid. I never got guided into any one thing. So I kind of just, you know, did what I wanted to. And I feel like I'd rather my kids do that than maybe resent it later. Because if I force them to paddle, I don't want them to hate it, because I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So if they love it, then great. I want them to kind of find it on their own. Or even if like my daughter's more creative, she likes to do hula, and like, you know, it doesn't have to be an aggressive sport. It could be whatever pastime kind of makes them happy. So, and they love surfing. And, you know, my main thing I wanted them to do was to swim really well, because we're surrounded by water. I want them to go to the beach without me worried if they're going to be okay. You know, I do that anyways, but I'm like, you know,
water safety on this island,
and that's it.
I told you,
good.
We had Chief Kalani Vieira sitting right here, and we talked a lot about water safety on this island. It's so important.
It's huge, and their program is amazing. My kids are in it.
The junior guard program,
absolutely, and that, I mean, just gives me more confidence in them to be able to handle themselves, like in the ocean, in a current. I watch my kid get sucked out, but I also watch him able to swim out of it. You know what I mean? Without me going in or helping, or, you know, you lose a board, be able to swim in and be calm about it. And that's all you can ask for. We are surrounded by water. So it's just like 100% you have to do that. You don't have to enjoy, you know, anything, but
you got to be safe.
You got to be safe.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And I also think, going back to what you were saying before, the kids notice. Like, I'm such a strong believer that growing up with parents that are doing rad shit, it's osmosis. Whether they recognize it or not, over time, they go, Mom and Dad are amazing athletes. They're doing good things, or like, it's gotta stick.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
That's
it's
so
just
great.
like, I'm fine. I'm like, oh my God, 13 years later.
That's so cool.
I had no idea she's paying attention to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing my thing. I'm letting her do, you know, whatever she's interested in. But for, you know, my daughter to be like, oh, I want to start training, or I want to start paddling, I'm like, all right.
So rad.
I support that.
Yeah, for sure. That's so great.
It's cool to see.
Especially, when it's their decision and not yours.
I want it to be theirs. I don't want it to be mine. So it
Super
works
cool.
out. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about training. I mean, you live in Honolulu, or you train in Honolulu, you work in Honolulu. It's some of the most amazing water, and you've got the river if you need it. You've got big water, you've got wind. What's been the secret to your training routine that's gotten you where you are? Is it the people? Is it the place? Or is it just the load that you put on?
God, yeah, I think it's a mixture of all of them. I mean, we have great training ground. Wintertime is when we start to train, so we have the river to do that because the ocean's usually too big to get in. And it's the group of people I train with. I can train by myself, but you definitely push harder when you're with, you know, the next guy. So I feel, and it's accessibility. It's being able to like literally roll down the road, go train, and drive up 5 minutes and get to work. It's like, it just works out so
Your hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel. I'm like, every minute is accounted for, and it's like working out so well. But yeah, it's all the things. It's and I think a big part of it is that time on the water, not just river sprints, but actually getting the experience in the ocean, whether it be sidewind, upwind, and just navigating it, seeing it. And I kind of like think of it as, yeah, okay, I'm going to do a 2-minute sprint hard, but if you do it from the river, which you'll get a better workout, right? It's controlled, and you can, you know, up your stroke and up the intensity. And then doing it kind of in the ocean where it's just kind of moving, you can only go as fast as the ocean lets you. So you got to be a little bit more mindful of that and going with it and using all of it instead of fighting it and just doing your 1-minute sprint. So I kind of pay attention now to like, okay, there's a little bump. I'm gonna like, you know, chase any kind of little moving thing I can see. And I think that's like been a little bit more helpful, is paying attention to the ocean instead of just grinding out a workout. Because I could grind out a workout in the river, but I don't think that's going to help me. It'll help my cardio, but I don't know if it's going to help me in the channel when everything's chaotic. And I'm like, you know, so it does, like you said, like coming from California and then going into our ocean, it's just, there's like 13 things happening, and you got to make it work and go with it and not against it. So I think it helps.
Well, I've seen you guys train. I mean,
Yeah,
and again,
but
it's interesting, the correlation, because if you live in a lot of the areas on Kauai that you don't have a river accessible, training's hard in those adverse conditions. And Newport's the same way. We've got such a great flat water environment that allows for us, the worst conditions, we still have good water.
Yeah.
But the difference is, to exactly your point, like I've trained myself to be pretty good in flat water. But as soon as I'm in slop, it goes out the window, because I've trained myself in flat water. Right. So watching you guys be able to paddle upwind most of the year in sloppy conditions and then surf down anytime, I mean, that's, to your point, that's where you get good. So getting a base, it's always helpful in flat water, but to really learn how to surf, you got to be surfing.
Yeah, you have to be. I think you have to be in that water.
Otherwise you end up like me, which is decent in flat water and shitty in the bump.
Which, there's a lot going on, and I feel like only now am I like seeing things. I'm like, oh my God, I was running that bump, but I didn't connect this. It's like a puzzle piece. Like you're just forever piecing out where you're gonna go, or you know, that next little entry into the next bump, and you're just trying to connect it, but smoothly. And it's just like there's an art to it. You know, some people can do it really well.
There's an absolute
Naturally.
art. And well, I mean, I've paddled here. I've done like Nepali with some of the older guys that in flat water, I'll take them. But they're surfing away from me, like, because you guys see stuff that we don't even see. Like that's truly, like I'll take off next to somebody and they're riding stuff. I don't even see it. And then even if I see it, I can't connect it. So it's a real science, and it's time, right? Time in the saddle.
It
right?
is.
So
as frustrating as that sounds, right? It's like,
you can't win. You can't win anything without doing the work.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to put in the work.
And having the right people to train with, and then the coaching. So I ask this question of almost anybody. Could you be where you are in sport without good coaching?
I don't think so. I think you need that guidance. I mean, we're not you can only watch, so many videos or like, things, but I think to get coached into doing something and then confirming, okay, that's where you want to be, or that's the feeling, right? Because every time like even in 6-man, if I'm paddling, I think I'm doing all the things, and then you see yourself on video, you're like, that's not all the things.
I never want to see myself on video anymore. It's
like,
depressing.
oh,
right?
okay, there's that. So I strongly believe that a good coach will guide you there. And I feel like there's a lot of natural talent. So people are like, okay, there's like potential, right? But you gotta go past that and really pull out all of the things and be able to produce. So I think the guidance is necessary.
Yeah, I'm a pretty firm believer.
Is there a self-taught?
Well, I don't know. I think, listen, I would
Athlete?
think that you can get to be incredibly good
Yeah.
at something without people in your court. But to bridge the gap between really good and the best in the world
Yeah.
at that time takes everything. You have, like you said, you would call the woman that really knows the channel. What do you do?
Yeah.
And then your coach is telling you what to do, or this is the proximity is power, right? Like having those people around you that can advise you on what equipment and what
Yeah.
route and how, like all those
Yeah.
things. I'm sure people get there, but I always say, like, show me the best athletes in the world. They all have coaches.
Yeah.
Right. And
They've come
for a
from
reason.
coaching, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer. And
Yeah.
I think that goes for business and life and everything
Yeah.
else as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do you think has been, I think we could put it all together, but like the secret, it sounds so corny, but the secret to your success, getting to the point where in the last 3 years, you've won Molokai World Championship twice, third place in the biggest year ever, and then come back with the relay. Like what do you, is it a combination of all the things we've talked about, or what do you think? Is there any one thing, or is it just a combination
It's
of
a
them all?
combination. It can't be any one thing, because you need like a whole team behind you. I feel like it's a solo sport, but you need like your work, right? You're like, my job is flexible, so it's like that's supportive. My husband is like game. He's like, happy to like, because if you have, say he wanted to do the solo too, and I'm wanting to do the solo, we're both training, and then we got the 2 kids. It's like, who trumps who, So it's like sometimes it could be a battle. I'm sure it is in most households where, husband and wife's doing it at the same time. Luckily, he takes a seat back and he's like, okay, you're going to shine, you're going to do this and support me. And then he'll go 6-man, so in a sense, I feel like, sure, he's sacrificing a little so that I can, be my best, and my family's, I feel like it's a lot of the support. And it's also like, I didn't even mention, Kamana Composites, the company that basically, the only reason I'm able to do all these races off island or to even do channel is because of them. Like, I can't take my canoe and ship it from one island to the next and run logistics. I mean, there's so much people on that team that's so supportive. So the only reason I really entertained the ideas was because they were like, yeah, sure, if you want to race, we got you. And that made it easy. Otherwise, I don't have the time or the money to, okay, I got to take my canoe, I got to ship it to Oahu, someone's got to pick it up there. It's like one of those, this sport is, you do a lot of your own legwork.
It's a lot of logistics.
You have a network of people, and they have been very supportive, and, and the canoes like that they built and I race, and George on Oahu picking up canoes, dropping them off. It's just like pretty incredible that that whole team of people, and they're like a family, and all those team riders, it's just like everyone's in support, right? Everyone's competing, but they're also in so much support. And I'm in awe of it, really, because I haven't been doing this, I haven't been racing off island very long. Like it just kind of, for one man started in that 2023 year where I was like, I think I called Lucas, like, I think I want to do the solo. He's like, sweet, we'll get you a boat, and, we'll get you all the things. And Kay's being like, sure, no problem. And so with that ease, that was a door opener of like, okay, then I'm going to train for it if that can be a reality for me to do those races. So it's like, yeah, everyone plays such a huge part. My mom watching the kids, it's like, everything has to line up. And when it does, it's like, it's so helpful, and it makes everything like, oh, so worth it. And I feel like I'm like, oh, I did so well in this race. I'm so stoked. I feel like it was all that work and all that sacrifice that anyone's ever done for me was like worth it. So yeah.
It's like a solo team sport.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't do
Solo
any
with
of
a
it.
team behind you.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
you think of all the, ultra marathoners or, anybody doing anything big
Yeah.
where there's logistics involved and you
Yeah.
need a team, right?
You do.
You could probably, if you didn't have that team, could you do what you do?
I don't know if I'd want to.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to. And just the sheer support alone is like, I think gives me the motivation. Like, and then just, yeah, seeing everyone like, oh no, you should do it. Just how encouraging everyone is makes me want to do it even more. And I do it for myself, but I also do it for everyone that's like backing me,
So you got a big little island back in
Yeah, really. Little but strong.
For sure.
A lot of pride.
For sure. Which is let's talk about it real quick, because Kauai is a small island.
Yeah.
But it produces so many incredible water people, from even on the lifeguarding side, like we talked about Kalani, but
Right.
like the number of professional surfers that continue to come out of the North Shore,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, I see them up in Princeville. You see, at the gas station at Foodland,
Yeah.
you see all these men and women pro surfers, and there's, as we talked about, incredible paddlers all over the island. What do you, is it in the water? Is it in the poi? Like, what is it?
Gosh, I know. I question it too. I'm like, how are we like, producing some really good athletes? And I mean, compared to Oahu's like, I feel like there's so many people, so many good people for that matter, and very competitive. I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
We like a good mystery.
Yeah.
It's good. It is really impressive how many people come out of here. And it is a little bit stealth, right? Just because of where it is and the size and everything. And it's part of, Kristen, it's part of the story that I love. It's like your 2023 story. It's like, I haven't done it in 10 years, and you go out and you smack it. And it's just, it's really, really cool. And I love the way this story has unfolded for you. Clearly, none of it happens by luck or by chance. It's a lot of work and a lot of support and it's the solo team sport, right?
It's the full package right there.
And the Kaimanu folks, I mean, those boats, I mean, you're not paddling at the level you are, and they're giving you all the support, but you're not paddling. Like, if they weren't good boats, I'm guessing you wouldn't be paddling them.
Yeah, huh?
Right?
I mean, so I feel like I got into paddling 6-man, and this company started right with my brother, Keizo, and Luke. A thought out of high school. It was funny because I would listen to them. They came over one time. They're like, oh, after we graduate, my brother was going to go to college for marine boat building, Luke for business, and Keizo engineering. And I was like, cool, like, nice idea. And they literally went to college, graduated, came back to Oahu, and was like, okay, we're starting this company. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I thought it was just like little kid ideas, and they thought up this whole company and grew it, and to where it is today. It's like so impressive. I started paddling with their first boat they ever came out with, and they're like, you're going to paddle it, right? I'm like, sure. And I've tried other boats. I love them, but I mean, I'm such a loyal person. Like, I love those boys. Like, my brother, they're little kids to me, but they're, grown, successful adults now. And I'd always support them. But with that being said, the craft that they made is also, I feel like, one of the best, and I like it, and it works well. And it's just like I guess a proud moment to see where it started with an idea and to where it is today. And it's a big jump, and I'm impressed.
Well, so hold on. So back up. Did you say that your brother's one of?
He was one of the guys that started it. So he phased out of the company when he wanted to move back to Kauai. They started it in Oahu, the warehouse and where they make the canoes are in Oahu. And so I think he had to take a step back, and he wanted to start, he's married, he has a family, he's a firefighter now here. And so there was, that he's still supports them. He's like, not involved in the company, but
you've known
I've known
that company
them
since it
they
was
were
just a thought.
since they were a thought. And I
Wow.
just think it's like, to represent them now, I'm just like, I'm so proud, they're
Yeah, and you've got 3 titles in the last 3 years
and
on that boat.
they helped me make it happen, and it's on their canoe. So I couldn't have dreamt this, like,
What a great story.
when they were in high school. I'd be like, I'll be paddling your boat one day and win the channel. That would be bananas.
How cool is that? The family affair. Or like, I mean, again, it goes back to the tight knit and what a cool like American dream or Hawaiian dream story.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, they stuck to their guns. They're I don't want to say they're hard headed or stubborn, but they were like, we're making these boats in Hawaii, and they've been through a lot, and they're still making it happen, and I'm very proud of them.
Awesome.
And they got a great team now. I mean, they got people, like I was like, you have a team of people. It's not just them making the boats, they're delivering it. They got gorge orders now, and they got, people working for them like Aria and George and Tristan, who's actually a
what do you get,
phenomenal
second in
competitor.
Molokai this year, I
just
think?
went back and forth. I mean,
Really
he's,
incredible.
incredible group of people and athletes. So it's kind of,
And it's like a family affair for you.
it is,
That's so great. Well, it sounds like, again, the smallest of the islands.
Yeah.
You have this really tight knit group of people supporting you and just in your world, from Molokai to Kamanu to the whole family connection for everything.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, Kristen.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Congratulations on it all.
Very fortunate.
Super fun. What's next?
What's next?
What are you training for
Today?
now?
No, I was kidding.
Hold it. You have 342
Hold on.
days until Molokai next year.
Yeah. Well, I'm rolling into 6-man training, and got to practice this weekend with the girls on Oahu, Team Bradley. So we're going to start training for that. Our Nawahine race is in September, end of September. So going for the channel crossing
For like
once
the
again.
87th win in a row. That's so great. Kristen, I love the story. Thank you for sharing again, especially in light of the fact that you don't love to be in the public eye. But I really do think that people are always curious how people get to the level that they do. And especially in a sport that has such a big following, Outrigger is getting big, and it's really, really cool. And there's a lot of people that you can really follow and really understand it. And you're just not.
I feel like now you
cool.
can, right? Well, social media wise. I mean, I don't partake in it.
I know.
But
I couldn't find
I do
anything.
see stuff and I'm like, that looks so cool. I mean, canoe paddling isn't totally a spectator sport because they leave and then they come back, right? Unless you're watching a regatta that's happening at the beach. It's one of those things, unless you're on the water like Tahiti and you're following the race, it's it's a hard sport to follow for if you don't paddle, right? But if you know, then you kind of know. But now we have all these little videos and
There's a lot.
cool Instagram things.
Yeah. Now you can find a little bit about Kristen out there, but not much. So this might be the clearinghouse
might
for
be
all
the
the
only-
information.
The only
Super
the only
duper
good
cool.
info.
Well, listen, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
the
you.
story. Congratulations on all of it.
Thank you.
I truly love the outlook on competition for you, where it doesn't seem like it's this super tenacious, aggressive. You're like, I just want to go out and do my best and I want to compete, but like I just love the outlook, and I super appreciate the whole storytelling. So thank you.
Thanks for giving me the time to
Oh my gosh. So fun.
kind of say something.
Well done representing
Say
the
what
North
I-
Shore of
oh,
Kauai.
good.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
I appreciate it.
Super fun.